Hey y'all, welcome to the 2015 Christmas card series here at Race and Crafts. This is card 8. This is the card we're going to make today. If you check the information bar below, you will find a link to my blog where you'll find the measurements for all of these layers because it would take way too long to try to explain them. You'll find a list of the markers I use to color just everything that's you're gonna need. So let's go ahead and get started. The little image here is from Little Miss Muffet Stamps. This is Fancy Sunbonnet Christmas stuff. And before I do any of my layering, I'm going to do my stamping because I'm using some pigment ink, and it takes pigment ink a little bit longer to dry. So if I can give this a chance to dry a little bit before I start messing with it, I think that is probably a good idea. So I am using Versacolor ink in the color Rose Red, and I'm just making sure I get the whole stamp. I don't know what the stamp's name is, and I don't know the company that makes it. I bought it on eBay right after I started card making, and it just came as plain rubber. It wasn't mounted or anything. But I love the sentiment, so I continue to use it. Any sentiment you choose is more than fine. I mean, we don't all like the same things. So I'm going to grab, this is a Hero Arts stamp. And I bought this from a garage sale at my craft store. And it must have been some kind of demo stamp set because it doesn't have a name or a product list or anything like that. So I can't tell you what it is either. Sorry about that. Okay, so I'm going to pull in my layers here. And I'm going to start, I noticed when I did the first one that I had just layered it as I went, and I got them off balance, like they weren't straight, and it's quite noticeable. So I'm just going to do the pairing up first, and then I will go from there as to the attaching to each other. And I'm just using my ATG gun. It's nice and quick. It holds really well. And I just want some white background showing so I can see what I'm doing. And actually, it doesn't take as much paper as I thought it would. I only, actually, for the 2 cards, I used one full 12 by 12 and like a quarter of a second sheet. Like, it took way more of the green than it did of the pattern paper, which is odd to me, but maybe it's just because I had figured out how to cut it. Okay. So I'm going to start building from the top down instead of from the bottom up, because that's what I did last time. So I'm just going to try anything I can think of to maybe make my lining up better. Because it was pretty bad. Most people won't notice it, but I do. So I'm just going to continue my layering. Good night. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and adhere my front panel on. And I did this flat because I do want these to be able to go through the mail. And the more dimension you put on it, the harder it is to mail. That being said, I am going to put some pop dots on her. And I used a layer of foam tape on my sentiment there. And okay, so I've got 1, 2 of those, and that empties that sheet. And let's do 1 here, 1 there, and let's use this little guy down there. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and put our little sunbonnet. I love these, by the way, these little stamps with the sunbonnets. And I probably love them because I'm not exactly great at doing faces and hair. And on these, you don't have to do either. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside for a second. And I'm going to pull in our title here. Now, I did go ahead and use 2 nesting dies, but it is way too big to go on the front of our card. So then I thought, well, I fussy cut images, so why couldn't I fussy cut the title? So that's what I did. I literally just fussy cut it down to make a smaller layer. So I just, if you wanted to totally freehand it, it would save a little bit of cardstock, but for me it was just easier to get the general shape going and then just trim it down. I don't know why, but that's just how I did it. I tried to just take a little bit out of the, on the first one, off the edge, and it just warped the design and it looked awful. So then I was like, well, just fussy cut it then. Okay, so I'm going to grab our card again, and I'm just going to grab my normal foam tape. This is like almost like 1/8 of an inch, where the pop dots I used are like 1/4 inch pop dots. And ooh, I just barely got that all on there. So I'm just going to peel the backing off the foam tape, and I'm still using the same roll of older foam tape. So I just throw a little bit of art glitter glue on the back. And then that just goes above. I could put some jewels or something on it if I wanted to, but I think I'm just going to leave it. And now I'm just going to put my scissors away, so I have a little bit of room here. And I'm going to go ahead and layer the inside. I have to tell you that this wasn't my original idea for this card. As a matter of fact, I started off by stamping my own pattern paper. Here it is. This is what I started. And while it would look really cool, and I probably will go ahead and finish coloring it and make a card with it eventually, it just would take way too long. Like, I've been trying to color it for like 2 days. And you only get so far and then you're like, ah, it makes your brain hurt. Because I took a stamp and I just kind of stamped it all kinds of different ways. So trying to figure out what's supposed to be flower and what's supposed to be leaf is kind of frustrating. So I decided to go ahead and just use some pattern paper instead. And that is our card for today. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see y'all next time.